guys, just doing a quick review for Dust Bunny. You could basically compare it to like Death at a Unicorn, but if they actually executed its premise well. Because this movie, Dust Bunny, had a risky premise where it could easily be like Death at a Unicorn, a really bad film, but I was surprised it was actually pretty good, and man, I kind of wish I knew about this film back in 2025, because I'm checking out, I guess, 2025 films I might have missed that people didn't really talk about as much, to films that people did talk about, but I just never got around to. But I ended up starting with one that, you know, people don't really talk about, and I was surprised it was actually good. Because Death at a Unicorn was something that actually was advertised more, but that was really bad. This movie, I didn't even know this movie existed, and it was actually really good, surprisingly. So basically, there's a little girl who has like a dust bunny under her bed, but it kind of turns into like a full monster at night time, to the point where, I guess, spoilers if you're not going to. Well, if you're going to watch this movie, which I recommend you watch it, it's actually really good. Executes the premise really well with the monster under bed, like that kind of premise. But then it also has like a little twist of it as well, another side of it, and they kind of mash it together, and it just goes really well. Death at a Unicorn tried to do something with like unicorns, something that is known for like a friendly fictional animal. But then it kind of ends up, if you've watched the movie, you know how that goes. But yeah, and this is a shit film. I don't even care about spoiling it. Basically, the unicorns end up killing people, go after Jenna Ortega and her father and stuff. It's not really executed that well, and it's a really bad film. But this film, with its premise, with the monster under a girl's bed, and then the way how it just goes after her throughout the film, it's done pretty well. And I definitely recommend it before watching this review. So I highly recommend you watch the film before watching this review. If you don't want spoilers for an actual great film of 2025, because if you've watched my tier list, for me, there wasn't really a lot of great films. And I can at least say this is one of them. Yeah. Because don't think it's like a 10 out of 10 film, but it's definitely like, I'd put it between 7 or 8, where Death at Unicorn's like flipping 1 or 2. It's just a terrible film. But yeah, basically, spoilers. Her parents get eaten, and we end up finding out later on in the film that she actually these are not even like her original parents. These are like her third family. So she's actually had other foster parents before, and they've all been disappearing, I guess, because her original family just gave her away. Maybe they knew about her imaginary friend being real, so they just gave her up. And then you see some kind of fairy thing. Well, the star thing that she kind of asks for a wish, which I guess introduces like this character who's like an assassin, and she ends up following him and seeing him like. Well, she thinks like he kills like a dragon, but he's actually just killing people. Yeah. They've got a cool actor for like one of the main leads, like this guy. Yeah. I always wish like one day he would be like in a John Wick film, and he'd end up being John Wick's father or something, and they'd do something cool where John Wick has to fight his father or something like that. Yeah, I always wish for something like that, or he just plays like just a John Wick villain, because he's always had like a John Wick vibe. I mean, he literally made Paula like basically like a John Wick film. Obviously not as good, but yeah. Since they're still gonna keep John Wick going, I just wish they could actually have like a movie together. That'd be awesome. But yeah, she ends up asking for his assistance after seeing what he does. Yeah. When her parents get eaten. Because, she realizes they're missing. And it's something she's gone through many times. And you could say there's a bit of Home Alone in this as well. Yeah. But just with a monster instead. Because you got Silent Night, like flipping Santa Claus. And you got flipping. There's just many things that took inspiration from Home Alone, but then you find out that Home Alone took inspiration from Die Hard, so it all kind of goes all the way back to Die Hard. So it's just crazy to think about. Die Hard kind of inspired so many films. Yeah, but yeah. He ends up getting cash from the little girl because she literally robs a flipping church, asking for his assistance. But obviously he doesn't believe her. But maybe to some degree he does, because he actually does try to help her. Because when she's saying like monsters under her bed, he's probably thinking like other assassins like him that are trying to kill her, and maybe her parents were into something. That's what he's thinking, but he doesn't really see any blood. He does see like damaged items and stuff, but he doesn't see any blood when he actually has a look. And then you've got her character with like basically Ripley from Alien. Like, she's in this, which is cool. She's still playing a villain role since flipping Defenders. Yeah. Which that shows how much time's passed, man. She still looks good for her age, though. Yeah. But she's basically like the main assassin's like he calls her mum for some reason. Like by near the end of the film, he calls her mum, so I don't know what that actually means. I don't think it's his actual mum, right? But maybe it's someone that he looks up to that trained him and stuff. Yeah, and she's just basically saying throughout the whole film to kill the little girl just to get rid of a problem, because she literally sends assassins to kill the little girl, and he kind of fights one of them to defend her, and the other one just gets eaten by the monster, I guess. Yeah. He ends up taking him out, and then the other one gets killed by the monster while trying to kill the little girl while she's hiding in like a bay outfit or whatever. Yeah. And it's just not until like near the end of the film where there's this fake foster person coming over, and there's just things that I feel like should have happened where, because if her parents went missing, like there would have been cops and stuff coming over instead of just like one foster person, which ended up being FBI. It's just there were some things that didn't really make sense, but then it was like near the end, like that's when things just got crazy anyway. And then he goes to see her again, and then the little girl comes as well, because it seems like he was gonna ditch her. Because there's a part of him that doesn't want her to get hurt, I guess, and she just wants her dead so bad, feeling like causing too many problems. But yeah, and then like they've actually got some good actors in this, man. Yeah, like seeing him in this, like, man, because he's basically one who wants to kill the main assassin, and he doesn't want to do anything because there's a little girl around. Yeah. Then he ends up following home because he's basically setting a trap, because he knows like this is like FBI, it's not an actual foster care person. Because there's FBI outside as well. Like he's basically trying to set like an ultimate trap, but then anyway he'd be getting like innocent people killed to like the FBI and stuff. But yeah. Because how else are they gonna fight this monster? And well, he doesn't even believe in it. He just thinks like all these people like that are after him, and then the FBI will just end up fighting each other. So then he would take care of all of his problems. But then he wasn't expecting for the monster to actually be real, and then she's just trying to have a talk with him one last time, and then just leaves it to his own affairs, I guess. But I guess she does come back at the end, which we'll get to that. Yeah. And then basically ends up finding out the monster's real. Well, she gets shot, but then she's actually still alive, I guess. She had maybe a bulletproof vest, asking to hand the gun back. Yeah, and then they go in, and then they see the monster, and they all get attacked. Yeah, and the FBI will come later on too. But then we actually get to fully see the monster. I feel like it kind of worked better when they didn't really show it too much, because once they start to show it a lot, the CGI is not brilliant. I can at least say it's a little bit better than Death at a Unicorn, but it's a bit similar. Yeah. But again, like I said, they just execute the premise way better. I feel like if they showed it a bit too much, it'd become ridiculous. And near the end, they do show it a lot. But yeah. They end up surviving. But then I guess the mom comes with her gun shoes. She's ready to kill the little girl, but then she sees that the monster's real, and it eats her. She tries to shoot it multiple times, but basically kills her. And then we find out that the whole time the monster was never trying to hurt her; it was just trying to hurt people around her. Like she kind of wished it into existence, I guess. Because I guess she said that some of her foster parents were never really that nice to her. I mean, her original parents abandoned her, so maybe she wished for something to protect her, and then maybe you could say that's how this came into existence. But instead of protecting her, it kind of ruined her life, just because sometimes kids get angry at their parents, and I guess with something like this around, they probably ate them. So then this ended up haunting her forever. So the only thing that could really contain this is someone like the assassin in this film, who could never say Awoba's name right. Yeah. Because even the one that tried to kill her could say her name right, but not the guy who was actually trying to protect her the whole film. But so she ends up trying to face the monster at the end, and then they end up leaving together, and the movie just ends, I guess. But it's actually a pretty good film, yeah. I was surprised. I wasn't expecting too much from it, because I saw this other film that I was going to watch called Tornado, which seems like it has a similar premise, but obviously it's probably not going to have like a fictional monster. But yeah, where like something happens to the parents, and then they're trying to do something about it. But I feel like they're going to do something about it on their own terms, like Tornado, I think it's called. I was going to think to watch that over this film, but I'm actually happy I watched this film now. And I guess I'll see how that turned out. I'll probably give that a watch soon. But yeah. I don't think I'll be reviewing Karate Kid. I knew it was going to be a mid film, so yeah. Not even going to bother review that. It was mid. Nothing special, I knew it. But this film, I went to this without really knowing anything, and I was surprised how good it actually was. Yeah. It's basically a better Death at Unicorn. I might make a little quick video too about like doing like a comparison, like why this worked and why Death at Unicorn didn't. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. Highly recommend this movie. I'm sure you can give a like. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.